Again? What? No. I don't know how to react. I don't know how to react to this. Like, is he being for real? Is this a freaking joke? Is this April? Coach Greg and is Ryan Humiston the next V-Shred? His information's getting worse than last time. I just did a video on him talking about dieting, explained all the misinformation that was being presented, and here he is yet again with another video with more misinformation than last time. He needs to stick to doing training tips that nobody actually needs, like 50 different ways to train your biceps, even though I do a video saying the 3 best, 3 worst, and that's good enough. He reminds me a little bit of Jeff Cavalier, except Jeff Cavalier doesn't give misinformation on diets. Just on how to get jacked, big arms, and how to train and fake weights and... So, yeah, he reminds me a little bit of Jeff Cavalier. What am I talking about? I'm going to show you the video, and you're going to be mind blown on how bad this misinformation actually is. So, caution, if you're watching Ryan to learn how to diet or train, not the best person to listen to. And you're thinking, no, Coach Greg, well, check out his physique. Yeah, check out Mike O'Hearn's physique. Check out The Rock's physique. Doesn't mean they know what they're doing. It could mean they're eating a lot of trenbolone sandwiches. Now, couldn't it be that? So let me show you where the mistakes are, and I'll let you be the judge of if it makes sense or if it doesn't make sense.
All right, today we're going over extreme, or what some people like to call crash dieting for fat loss, and why it's not only effective, it's actually the way to go.
So he's suggesting the best way to burn fat is to crash diet. Not to slowly lose the weight and have energy and keep your muscle in the process. No, to crash diet. When in fact everybody knows crash dieting is not good for you, never been good for you. Don't crash diet. Don't listen to Ryan.
So I'm sure you've heard other fitness YouTubers say, or maybe you were sitting at home in your underwear eating lean pockets and Dr. Oz told you no matter what you do, don't crash diet because you'll blow right back up.
Exactly. Even Dr. Oz knows. Think of it. Even Dr. Oz knows better than this. Don't crash diet. You're going to blow right back up. That's exactly what happens. Don't crash diet. Video, he could have ended it here and said, it's a joke. I was kidding. But no, he actually further goes on and explains it.
Think back to my years of working with competitors, figure, fitness, bodybuilding. Every time I would sit down with one of them for the very first time, for the first 30 minutes, I would continually ask them, are you sure you want to do this? Because this is going to completely mess you up.
Crash dieting isn't only hard on you physically, it's also hard on you mentally because you're going to lose all that weight so quickly and lose some muscle in the process. Then you're going to rebound after and gain all the weight back and often even more weight back than you had in the first place.
But here's the truth. You can't get extraordinary results by putting in an ordinary amount of effort. You got to tread into the obsessive and slightly unhealthy waters if you want to make a change that people can't help but to notice.
So he's literally saying you got to be obsessive and make unhealthy changes in order to make noticeable changes in your physique. No! Why would you say this? Why would you encourage this? I mean, I'm all for being honest, but you can make dramatic changes in your physique by making small changes, small tweaks. You eat in a small deficit and you slowly lose the weight over weeks, months, and years. It doesn't have to be a race to lose 20 pounds in a week. Ryan, why are you doing this?
Unless your starting point is you're a contestant on that show, My 600-Pound Life, then yeah, you're going to make progress by simply getting your enabling mom to stop feeding you cheeseburgers all day. Because you know what happens when you go on a normal diet with just a slight deficit? Practically nothing.
Again? What? No. I don't know how to react. I don't know how to react to this. Like, is he being for real? Is this a freaking joke? Is this April? It's March and April, January, February, March, April. No, it's not freaking April Fool's coming up. I don't get it. When you go on a normal diet with a slight deficit, you lose a normal amount of weight each week. You keep your energy, you keep your muscle, you can even maintain, you can burn fat and build muscle at the same time. That's what being in a slight deficit does for you. It's exactly what you're supposed to do, but Ryan's saying, nope, nothing happens. If you're in a deficit, by definition, you will lose weight. You cannot be in a calorie deficit and not get leaner. Calorie deficit, if you're eating less calories than you're consuming, you're going to burn fat. You are going to. It's inevitable. So, Ryan, I don't know what you're talking about here.
I mean, look around at the people that basically look like they've made no progress year in and year out. I mean, if you squint hard enough, it might look like they're making progress, but they're not, because that's one of the hardest things to do. Make a diet that's difficult enough that somebody will see progress relatively quickly so they don't get frustrated, but not too difficult that one day they just break and start deep throating churros.
You're not going to end up deep throating churros if you're on a diet that you enjoy. You know, like from my cookbook, like everyone knows that by now. You eat low-calorie dense foods that taste good. You know, the diet you can stick to for the rest of your life. You never heard of this diet, Ryan? Like, I'll give you the freaking cookbook for free if you need it. You obviously do. Oh my goodness. Ryan, really?
So the question is, how do you formulate a diet that's going to be hard enough to get your results, but not to the point you're going to lose your shit?
You get my freaking cookbook. You get my freaking cookbook. It's that simple.
All right, first we need to change the way you look at dieting, because most coaches will say, all right, we're doing a 16-week recomposition plan because they're afraid to scare you away with the word diet, but it's a fucking diet. And 16, 12, or 10 weeks, that's a marathon. And the truth is, diets are better done as sprint.
Everyone knows that anything to do with the human body is a marathon and not a sprint. Whether it's burning fat, marathon, not a sprint. Whether it's putting on muscle, marathon, not a sprint. Whether it's body recomposition, anything to do with improving your physique, it's not about a sprint. It's not about getting it done in a week. It's about making small changes that you can sustain, but sustain them for the rest of your life. Ryan is preaching the exact opposite of what anyone should be doing.
Thinking anything beyond a week, 99% of people will be like, fuck it, take my foot now. And every week you need to install a light at the end of that dieting tunnel from hell by implementing a refeed meal.
No, you don't need a freaking cheat meal, refeed meal, cheat day, weekend every week if you're on the diet that makes sense. If the diet you're on makes you crave all these things, you're on the wrong diet. Ryan, you're probably putting them in too deep of a calorie deficit. If they weren't in such a large calorie deficit, they wouldn't have no energy and feel like garbage. It's the diet that they're on that's causing all the problems.
Which brings me to a fairly widespread misconception of how low you should push your calories. Here's an extreme scenario for you. So person number 1 is on a 2,000 calorie diet, which puts them in a decent deficit, and 35% of their calories is coming from protein. So they're getting 175 grams per day. Now, person number 2 is going to get less calories than they recommend giving a 12-year-old girl. Now, I don't recommend this. This is just to prove a point, but they're going to get 1,000 calories, and 80% of those is coming from protein. So they're going to get 200 grams of protein per day. So the question is, who would you bet your wife on?
Well, first of all, why are we betting wives? And second of all, it's excessively obvious that the 2,000 calorie diet is better than the 1,000 if you're both in a deficit. The 1,000 calorie diet, you're in such a deep deficit, of course you're going to lose muscle, even if every freaking gram was protein. But on the 2,000 calorie diet, even though you're eating less protein, the carbs and fat that you're eating, they're protein sparing. Did you guys not know this? Carbs and fats have a protein sparing effect. What that means is you don't waste the protein calories. If you only eat protein, your body needs the protein for energy. If you eat carbs and fats, they can use carbs and fats for energy, sparing the protein to build the muscle. So if you're only eating 1,000 calories but 200 grams of protein versus 175 grams of protein on 2,000 calories, you're going to, for sure, by a mile, retain more muscle on the 2,000 calorie diet. The 25 extra grams of protein on the 1,000 calorie diet are going to be burnt off as freaking energy to move and scream and make a video about how ridiculous Ryan's advice is. Does that not make sense? Think of this as the stupid... What is this?
I would hope for your wife's cook it down. You bet on the 80% protein. And again, I'm not advocating you get anywhere near that 80% because your kidneys would not appreciate that.
Your kidneys can't handle the protein? The 200 grams of protein on 1,000 calories. I never eat less than 200 grams of protein a day. I'm average closer to 300. My kidneys can handle it just fine. Stop panicking about the protein in your diet. Start panicking about the excess body fat, the excess calories in your diet. I mean, come on, kidneys. Where is he getting his information? Yeah, worry about the trenbolone sandwiches, not the protein that you're taking.
So it's hard to give a general, just go do this, because I have no idea where everybody's at in their life. You could be at a really low place. You could be sitting at home watching this, eating a pound of gummy worms. But in my experience, most people have one or a mixture of these 3 problems. Either they don't eat enough protein, they're eating too many calories, or they justify having too many carbs.
Not many people are not eating enough protein. It's in fact quite rare. 1/2 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, it's enough for most people. At most 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. That is not hard to consume, especially if you're eating from my freaking cookbook full of high protein, low calorie dense foods that fill you up that taste amazing. That's what Ryan needs. And no, it's not too many carbs, it's not too much fat, it's too much calories. It's calories at the end of the day. Calories in, calories out, Seco. If you're in a deficit, you're going to lose weight. If you're in a surplus of calories, you gain in weight. Whether you want to gain or lose, it's based on Seco. It's not based on if you ate too many carbs or if you had enough fat or if it was eaten after midnight or before. No, it's the calories in, calories out. Simple laws of thermodynamics.
In this house, we obey the laws of thermodynamics.
I don't know how many videos I have to make before the world understands this most basic of basic information.
So if you haven't got a chance to check out the program, I'll leave a link to that below because that's one of my favorite things. Wake up in the morning and check the feed and see all the people that are complaining about how bad they hurt. And because it's from me, it makes me smile.
What kind of logic is this? Yeah, I like this. People complaining of how much their diets suck. I love reading that. Coach Greg, no, I'm the opposite. I like reading about how much easier it is with my cookbook. Which makes more sense? Enjoying reading how much people are hurting and hating their diets, or Coach Greg who likes reading how much people are loving their diets, sticking to them for life, making transformations that actually work, that they can keep off, that they can sustain? Oh, but I like making people suffer. Yeah, maybe you can eat dirt. Brian Shaw can do it, but not me, and I doubt you can. Maybe you can. If you can, get Ryan's diet a try. If not, get my freaking cookbook. Ended it here. GregDoucette.com for coaching. Greg Doucette, IBB Pro. The bloops, they're over there. Watch freaking one of them. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram. Until next time, I am out.